Peace, Vandals and Vandalettes. It's the God Mathematics, and you're now listening to the Vandal Wto Season 7 live on S.STREET Media. Make sure you check us out whenever we come on, and it's usually on Saturdays, but whenever we come on, just stay in tune whenever we come on. But if you want to check out any of our old episodes, you can go to www.sstreetmedia.net, or you can go to sstreetmedia.info. Make sure you check out all them old joints. They're all fly, they're all fresh. We interview some of the dopest writers in the game. We interview Muse, we interviewed Akinelli, we interviewed ZB, we interviewed S.STREET, we interviewed Joust, KGB, and a whole slew of other dudes. I think one of the dope ones is Dual MCI. Make sure you check out all of them joints, but he is definitely one that I really enjoy listening to. But before we get into anything, I want to give a shout out to all the Vandal Wto guards and goddesses that came before me. Brat, Giggles, Greaseboard, J-Lo, Mathematics, Facts on Wax, E. Sinatra, June 457, Sosa, Dre Kill Films, The Bring That Back Dude, DJ Quest, Mr. 13, Buyer 3, Reps, Guest, DJ Swift, DJ EA, Darwin, Queens, Paris, Little Bit, and my cousin Chris, Justice, and the guard guests. Without them, it will be no me. Now, we haven't been on air for a little while. A lot of things have transpired between the time that we was on to now. One of them things that transpired, one of my good friends, my comrades, my brother, passed away through gun violence the day before Father's Day, and that's the brother, the comrade, Foot for Mayor, a.k.a. Bigfoot. I want to give a moment of silence for the brother and his family. To know Foot, man, it was to know pure energy. To know Foot, you saw a great entertainer. To know Foot, you saw someone who really put it down when it came to that grab shit. He's a real bomber. That Foot was everywhere. You had Lisa Evers talk about him. You had the Source magazine write up an article about him. He affected so many people. He was a loyal guy. He was a true blue dude. What he did in his life, I can't tell you. But when it came to this grab shit, he put it in. He put it in. He put it in. May the God rest in peace, man. Shout out to his whole crew and all the people that surrounded him. Over, Minus, Few, Fresh Five, all Flavor, all the brothers that was around Foot on a regular basis. Shout out to his whole gang, the Brown. You know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. He was a great brother, and he will be missed. Now, tonight is a special night, man. We got a whole lot of people in the building. I'm feeling good. I've been fucking up like 1,000 times. Y'all don't know. This is probably my 10th time recording this, but you wouldn't know that. I'm high. I am high, and I'm high. I smoked some good reefer if you didn't know, but now you know. So tonight is a special one because I have a person who I really respect his can. Let me repeat that one more time. I have a person in the building that I respect his can. He did and does what it does, man. He does what a lot of people still ain't doing right now. He has hit walls. He has hit freights. He has hit rooftops. His rooftop game is probably one of the blueprints that a lot of your young brothers are using right now. You know what I mean? I'm not going to lie to you. He was doing roofs before it was a popular thing, man. He has bonds with some of the greatest. He put in a lot of work, man. So it is my pleasure and the Vandal Wto's pleasure to introduce to you, I'm feeling hype about this one, Aones Wto. How you feeling, God?
I'm feeling really nice, man. High as the sky.
I'm glad you chilling, man. I'm glad you here with us. You know what I mean? How you feeling tonight?
Great.
Yo, you got a lot of history, man. So I am glad that you are here to tell your story. A lot of people I've been trying to get this interview for like 3 years. So I'm glad that I finally got you in the building on our first. We haven't did a Vandal Wto in person in a long time. So you are first fucking guest in person during this COVID-19 bullshit. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me here.
You're not scared to be here. A lot of motherfuckers are scared to come outside right now, man.
Yeah, man, I don't know. You know, it's just, at first it was scary, but after that, it's just nothing, man. Just wear your mask and that's it.
Yo, you know what's funny? Because we was talking a lot off camera, man. I want us to talk about this graph history because we was going through a lot of stuff. But your graph history is on point, man. I like the conversation that we had off camera, man.
Yeah, you know, I had amazing years.
So let's go into. I'm gonna set it off with this, man. How do you become A1s? How do you enter this motherfucking game we call graph?
Well, I didn't start with A1s at first. I started with ALF. And then, say, 87 is when I went to A1s. And I had A1s ever since 87.
What you call it? When you started writing A1s, was there another like person? Because you know the I seen a lot of AOs and other. I think A1 is kind of a typical name. Was there other A1s when you started?
The honest truth, I added the S late. 87, 88, I was just doing A1. A1, A1er, you know.
You know,
The late, I say the mid 90, 93, 94 is when I put the S at the end, and I started with A1s.
and just ran with that.
I ran with that.
Was you bombing with anybody during those times when you was writing A1?
Nobody big. Like,
We like to hear about the small people that didn't make it to your stature.
people that I guess just follow my steps that weren't really graffiti writers. You know, they saw I was a graffiti writer, how much I was into it, so they just followed my game.
That's usually how a lot of writers, you know, that's how it usually happens. It'd be like three people that start together, but then one becomes the real one.
Yeah, and the other three just disappear.
Float off.
Yeah.
So when you first started doing what you're doing, what was you hitting? What was your early missions?
Pretty much public school, in the bathrooms and stuff like that, and the classrooms and the parks, 68 Park. And then the freights, just walking the freights and just bombing the freights, the walls behind the freights.
Yeah, back in those days, you might have found a dead body in the freights. Did you find any crazy shit going on behind the freights? The freights was crazy.
Nah, I never saw no dead bodies up there, but I saw a lot of cereal getting taxed and a lot of, what is it, night train getting taxed.
That's a fact. Back there, you might have seen like I didn't see dead cows, dead dogs back there and shit like that.
No, yeah, I did see a lot of dead animals. You know, it makes you think like, how the fuck did they die? You know, did someone kill them there, or just they some devil worship shit? You know.
How old was you around these years?
I would have to say like probably 11, 12. You know, I was always on the freight since I might have even been 10 years old walking the freight tracks by my house. They were so easy to get up. There was holes everywhere. You know, it's not how it is now. We're all locked down.
That's definitely true, man. So you're writing A1s, you're doing your thing for a little. You're writing A1. Do you transfer to A1s yet, or you when you bombing by yourself?
When I was bombing by myself, I was just A1. No, I was still A1, and then I just started with A1s, and I kept I did a lot of rooftops for Dolo.
For Dolo.
Yeah, for Dolo.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. Who did you have a person mentoring you at this time? How was you learning about, you know, the things you wanted to hit and how to do it?
I just picked it up on my own. No one never really showed me, you know. I just saw something I wanted, and I wanted to get it and take over.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't have a mentor in the early years either. I started off just learning the ropes by myself.
But the rider that I looked up to make me who I am today is Fib.
So let's talk about Fib a little bit, man, because we was talking about Fib off camera. What was it about Fib that stood out to you?
Dude, everywhere you went in East New York, Canarsie, he was up everywhere, especially the highways. He was king of the highways.
Yeah,
He started, to me, he was the first rider to start graph on the highways.
they used to call him Fib the Highway King back then.
Yep. And a lot of people don't know that.
I was one of my stories of Fib where we talking off camera was I said there was a time when I used to go to Great Adventure at a young age, and I would see Fib work from New York City all the way to
Six Flags.
Six Flags. That was crazy. He really was. Like, it wasn't just a New York thing.
Nah.
He was tri-state ish.
Yeah. He got up, man. It's unbelievable what he did, and he didn't do small shit. All his shit was stomps, big stomps.
Definitely. You know, so you're doing your thing by yourself. You're rocking and rolling, doing what you do. At a certain point, you become a member of WTO. Tell us a little bit about that.
WTO, I got down in, I think it was 87, 88 is when I got down with WTO. I met Asp in 86 in 68 Park, and we clicked from there, and I didn't even know him as Asp at first. I just knew him as Johnny.
So, did you know he wrote graph or did not know?
He didn't even mention it. I just said, my name is this person, you know, and then he said him, and then we chilled, and then one day I saw him in the streets, and I had a can, and it was on Forest Avenue. He took a tag, and my eyes just lit open. I was like, yo, that is you? You're fucking up all over Myrtle Avenue.
So what happens from that point? Do the friendship evolve now? Now we're not just homeboys.
We clicked so hard. You know, we had each other's back. Like, if I had a problem with someone, he told me, I don't want you to fight. I'm fighting for you. And I'm like, I can handle myself. Because, nah, I'm handling it. You know, he just got a good heart, man. If you knew him. If you didn't know him, I felt sorry for you.
Let's give an example. Imagine a person didn't know Asp and they got into a problem. What could happen?
Right off the bat, there's only one thing that comes to my mind. He'll slice you.
That's what I heard also. I heard that also. So for the person who, like, you know, our audience, you know, rest in peace, Asp. First of all, rest in peace, Asp. For our audience who never met Asp, describe Asp as an individual, graph-wise and non-graph.
Graph-wise, he was a beast. He just wanted to destroy shit. And for someone, a friend-wise, he had a heart, a real heart for you, you know. If you don't know him, if you're on his bad side, stay away, because you'll be in trouble. But if you're on his good side, he has your back no matter what.
So WTO was already existing at this point when you met him?
Yeah.
All right, so he was already...
No, I don't think he had WTO at 86. I don't think he did. I think it was came out the late 87 and early 88s, around there.
So was he pushing any other crews before WTO?
U5.
Wow.
I know there's another. He pushed U5. He pushed FYA.
Okay. Shout out to the FYA boys. You know, my man Deck and all of them.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people. You know, people when they describe Asp, they describe him as very militant in graph. You know,
Yes.
Very militant. But they also, you know, you can't deny the work that he was doing though. His work was definitely out there. That P that he does was definitely stolen by many writers after him doing it. You know?
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna say that. That P is an infamous P. You know. During these years, what was your outlook on graph during these years?
My years was just watching these writers get up and destroy shit, and just I want to be that writer.
Who during these times, you know, Who was some of your contemporaries around when you was doing what you was doing?
Oh, when I was bombing wise?
Yeah, bombing wise.
When I started really bombing her, when I came back, I would have to say ASP, DG, Web 113, Nat KOA,
Big boys.
Yeah, big boys. Scuff, Kez 5, VE, Giz, SN, Slash. So many writers.
Oh no, I'm know what it is because I'm just trying to get a feel of the time. You know, I'm trying to get a feel of who else was doing what they was doing around this time, so I could kind of see, you know, the visualizer wise. Can you describe to me the vibes of Graph during these times and like New York City during these times? Like what the temperature was like during these times?
Back then, it was just crazy, man. It was all for one. I mean, it was all for out. You know, Graph was just everywhere. The whole city was covered.
Was it violent? Was it?
I never saw it violent. You know, I never saw it, unless you know you had beef with someone. That's the only time it was violent. You know, I never had beef. I never had beef.
Yo, that's crazy because a lot of people would just, you know, go through this and it'd be the total opposite. They had beef their whole time, and then when they get older, they like, yeah, no, I kind of fell back from it. So
like, I try to stay away from beef because I just wanted to go out and destroy shit. I didn't have time to diss this person, you know. I know Kez 5 dissed me once on the truck, and I dissed him back, and that's all I dissed him. And then it was one night, it was me, Kez, VE, Catch, and Sen going to the club. And on the way to the club, he tries to hand me a lifesaver. And he goes, yo, I saved your life that time. And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, save you from not taking you out. I was like, what do you mean? Because I dissed you on a truck, and you just dissed me there, and you didn't go out dissing the rest of my shit. I was like, that's where you dissed me. He was like, I was hoping for you to start dissing me so I could take your shit out.
Competitive nature.
Yeah.
Competitive nature. We were speaking about that off camera, about, you know, having a competitive nature in Graph. Would you say that you was competitive?
Yeah, I definitely was, you know. I put in a lot of work. I just wanted to be up. I just wanted to destroy shit, you know. I wanted to have Bushwick on lockdown, the M line on lockdown, half the J on lockdown, you know.
The M line, you put a lot of work there. You know, I definitely seen a lot of your, to this day, this stuff still rocking. During these times when you was doing what you was doing, how many times a week, how many days a week was you going out to attack?
It all depends. Each week was different. It could have been two days a week, 3 days a week. You know, it was all different. You know, there was one time I went 7 days straight. Every night. What
was pushing you to go these days, man? What was that? What was the reason? Or was there a reason?
It was just a rush of just getting up, see your name everywhere. And I'll go driving to the weed gates, and that's all you see is your name everywhere.
Oh, so you're a connoisseur? You're a weed connoisseur?
Yeah.
Yeah. At the well, I'm glad you are, because here at the Vandal, we definitely push the 420 movement. We want to decriminalize smoking. You know, we want to be able to smoke weed in the street without being harassed by police and shit like that. So I'm glad you definitely 420 friendly. We were smoking off camera, chilling and shit like that, and I like the vibe. You know, I always like my people to be in a good vibe when they come in here. You know, one of the things that I had one of my brothers in here who's not here, who's a boosting fanatic. You know, I mean, I don't want to say his name, but he put in a lot of work. When you was doing your thing back in those days, how was your paint being obtained, or did you have a sponsor? Because these days there are writers with sponsors. What was you doing?
Dude, I was racking my paint, and I still rack my paint. I mean, sometimes I buy some of the burners just for certain spots to just do big shit, you know. But otherwise, all my paint is racked.
Do you consider yourself skilled?
Very skilled. There's only one person that could tell you that how no comp I am is
Who's that?
SN. Not SN, CS, sorry, CS. CS TFK, the real OG TFK.
Yo, shout out to CS, man. Shout out to CS. CS always doing stuff. You know, a lot of, because these days racking is not always considered a part of grab. That is, you know, a lot of people I know buy paint. So when I meet one of the people who still stick to the old school rules, I definitely got to respect it. I definitely got to give you your props, because a lot of people don't. Let's go into this WTO thing, man, because WTO is a very powerful crew, and let me say this: it's powerful, and is few people who push it. So the few people who's pushing it is really putting in a lot of work. I want to say. Shout out to Che, who's been rocking for years. Rest in peace, ZEXOR, for years. Also Aspen yourself. WTO, man. What separates y'all from the other crews that's out there?
WTO is my heart. I don't care about the other crews.
What do WTO stand for?
Stands for two things: we taking over, or we took over.
I like those. WTO had one of the members that put in a lot of work under that crew is ZEXOR. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, my little brother.
You know, in your opinion, what do you feel was his contribution to the game, to the graph culture?
Dude, he loved graph, just like his father. Loved it so much, and that's all he wanted to do, was be a graph artist, a street artist. Not a street, a street bombing artist.
I met the guard, very full of energy, very positive brother, man. Met him a few times. You know, it's crazy in the short amount of time, the larger body of work that he put in, man.
He put in a lot of work, man. Like, at that time, I couldn't mess around because I was on vacation. I had to be a good boy. And I used to see him up so much, and I was, like, really proud. Like, he was representing WTO like his father did.
What's if a person, you know, who didn't meet both of them, but you have, what was similar about them?
The honest truth, they both acted like joking around was. They both pretty much, they're like brothers. They look, not even brothers, like twins. They both acted the same, like joking around wise. Very funny motherfuckers.
That is, you know, he had, as I said, I met him, and his energy was definitely positive and energetic, man.
Very.
When he passed away, man, how did you feel about him passing away?
I was heartbroken, you know. I talked to him on the phone like a week and a half before that happened. And we were supposed to link up. I was supposed to give him some of my canvas. He was supposed to give me some of his canvas, and it never happened, you know.
Rest in peace to the young guard, ZEXOR, and all the people who loves him, man, because you can go on his hashtag and...
He's mad loved. He did work, man. He did a lot of work.
Heavy in the game, man.
Heavy game. He represented Bushwick Hardcore.
You done bombed with some great people, man. People who really put in a lot of work. You know, one of the people you bombed with was VE.
Yeah, VE.
You also bombed with ASP, you know. What do you, in your opinion, who and I know there's others, but who out of all the people that you bombed with, you feel that you killed shit the most with? Who you feel you did the most work with?
The most work with? I have to say two people. VE and SN, SDF crew.
Say the last one.
SN.
Ooh. Give me why you the VE why you feel that a lot of work was done with VE.
VE loved the bomb. You know, he wanted to vandalize everything. That's how he got his name from.
I never knew that. Thanks for that one. I never caught that. Was he a person, his bombing style, can you describe it? Like, was he a person, was into timing? Was he a person who just didn't give a fuck? What was his bombing tactics?
At first, he didn't give a fuck. He was a wild one. And when we bombed together, he would just go too crazy. And I say, you got to chill. You know, like, I don't need to go to jail. You know, you're too wild, too open. You got to, one person at a time, not two at once where no one's not watching, and then we have 5 rolling up. He was wild. Like, he didn't give a fuck. He just wanted to ride on everything.
Now, compare that to SN. What's the bombing style with SN?
SN was, like, very cautious. He made sure that it was your right to bomb so we don't get caught.
Shout out to SN. He had a run recently, like maybe a couple of years, 2 years ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. That was a nice run.
Yeah.
He's putting in a lot of work, and I heard a lot of positive things about how he does what he does. They said that he's very much on another level when it comes to shit. I don't want to go into nothing, but from what I hear, personal stories, I hear he takes bombing to the next level. One thing I know about you is you like looking for them hidden train stations, them hidden freight yards. What got you into that?
I have to say, years ago, going on Flickr and just seeing some of these pictures that people used to post, and I'm like, where the fuck is this? And I'm not going to say how I found out, but I did my research, my homework, and I found a couple of spots, and me and CS used to go there and just have a picnic.
Yo, do they be like really like some shit that not too many writers done found? Like, is it like that, relics and stuff like that?
There's this one spot that I went somewhere in New Jersey, and all the trains were clean. New Jersey transits were clean, just sitting somewhere, beautiful, no broken windows, and I think there was 4 trains there, and I destroyed all 4. And then I went back for CS, and 2 of the trains we rocked some pieces on.
Ooh, how was the vibe rocking those, man? Like, what was the energy during the actual hitting time?
It was fun, You're deep in the woods. Deep. The only thing you got to watch out for is bears, coyotes, That ass, bears, coyotes, wild turkey running. Those times me and CS over there painting the train, we see a pack of deer run by, a pack of turkey run by. And we're like, oh, look.
Wow.
We would laugh. We would bug out and laugh, Yo,
one time, me and my cousin went to go do something, right? And when we went to go do it, we climbed over the gate, and when we got over the gate, it was a yard, a small yard, like where they do the construction at, but it was rabbits, like when I say rabbits, like over 100 rabbits running across, and it was like rats too, but the rats didn't even look scary in the way they was maneuvering with the rabbits. And I'm sitting there like, what the fuck is this? Sometimes bombing, you see like some crazy shit, the hours you doing it at. I think to me, that's the great part about bombing is like the excursions, going into those missions, looking for these spots that,
Yeah, there's one spot I went to. I was with CS. I told him, chill in the car. I'm going to just check it out real quick. They had the trains laid up. I'm walking on tracks. I see something black. I'm thinking it's a dog. I keep walking. I have my head down. I'm not paying attention. I probably get 50 feet from it, and then I look up, and then it stops, turns around, looks at me, and stands up, and it's a cub bear. And I just froze and just looked behind my shoulder, looked in the woods, because I'm just waiting for Mama Bear to run out and just... And
Do what you do.
Yeah, so I just turned around and just walked real slow and not run, and just when I got to a certain point, I just ran. I was like, I got spooked, you know?
Yo, speaking of like wow stories, I know you have a long graph career. Give me a situation that stands out to you. One of the situations that stand out the most to you in your graph career, if you could pinpoint it to one.
Rocking the Domino Sugar, the side of the building.
Oh.
The night that I did that was 3 people with us, with me, with CS and ZEXOR.
Describe that mission for me, because let me just say this: that picture is iconic. Let me just say there's a picture of that that wall, the side wall, where I think later Louis Love came or somebody else came later after. But the original wall is like iconic. There's a picture of that wall that's very iconic. That is like a heaven spot to me. How did you put that together, man?
The honest truth, I was looking at that rooftop. I can't even tell how many years. I was looking at it when that place was open, trying to figure a way to get to to bomb that rooftop. But being open, there was no way. There was no way. That place was secured pretty good.
When people seen it, what was the reaction when like your people seen that spot you did?
Their mouth dropped. That's what I heard. Like, unbelievable spot. Like
that. If that's not great spot selection, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. You done did a lot of that type of shit. Where do you want to go with it now? Like, when you accomplish a lot and you done did work with some of the illest, where do you want to take graph now?
Still to the streets. No, I don't care about shows and stuff like that, I'm all about bombing.
I've seen some things. I've been seeing some things. What got you in the mood right now? Was you trying to take advantage of this COVID-19 shit?
Nah, not really. Getting laid off, having all the time I want, free time. And I never stopped bombing. You might not see me in the 5 boroughs, but I don't live in the 5 boroughs. And where I live is where I bomb tucked away spots. A lot of pictures I don't post, keep private.
How's your picture collection, man? Is it like a Muse? Because a Muse got an ill picture collection.
I have to say, my picture collection is just as good as, just like a Muse.
His is. I know his is heavy, so that means yours is up there.
Yeah, I'm up there.
You always talking about having similar pictures on camera.
Yeah, me and the Muse did a lot of picture taking together. A lot.
I want to shout out Amuse, who's here in the building with us. Who's, as I want to say what I say off camera, very humble dude, very sincere dude. He's a friend of the show, and he's always great vibes. How did you and Amuse connect?
Going to the clubs, going to NASA. That's pretty much it, Going to NASA, and then after that, just chilling in Madison Park, and from there we just clicked, and then down the line we became roommates. My mom was moving out. I was taking over the apartment. I needed a good, cool roommate. He's One of the best roommates I ever had in my life.
He seems responsible.
Yeah,
I
very.
can see him. I would choose him too. He seems very responsible.
Very.
Did you have any nights out in the graph thing?
Plenty. We had plenty of nights bombing together. He's definitely one of the top men I like to bomb with. I don't have to worry about nothing.
You know, when I think of A1s, I think about your throw up. Your throw up is, you know, still the same. I seen new stuff, you know, books you done and stuff like that. I seen new stuff versus the old. How did you come up with that throw up?
The honest truth, Asp gave me that throw up in the way. I tweeted it, but Asp gave me that A, kind of that A, half that A, and I just tweeted that A.
The faces in the O's.
The faces of O, I just felt like just a regular O was too plain, and I just wanted to
Some
give
pizzazz.
give it some style.
You know, it is a lot of people feel that that their stuff should constantly keep changing. Whether it be the tag, whether it be the throw up, whether it be piecing. What keeps you doing your same A1s and not changing it? Like, did you ever feel like changing it?
I'm just used to doing that style. You know, it's the style I started, and no need to change my style. It's too easy. You know, it's an easy style to do. I want to get something done. I don't want to be there for 5 minutes with a fancy throwy. You know, a throwy is just a throwy. Pretty much bubble letters. Not all this fancy stuff to it.
I agree. You know, to me it's definitely when I see it, it's iconic. Also, I've seen it for years, and it's still one of my favorite throw ups. It's still, and you do it clean too. Even when I was Googling you and I was going through some of your old work, you know, I mean, I seen a lot of those A1s. I seen some with another person. Was it Damu?
Damu, yeah.
So I seen y'all got some things together. Talk to me about that connection. That's a newer person that you connected with?
I connected where I live, you know. He hit me up on Instagram because there was a abandoned hotel that me and CS hit. And he hit me up, and he saw I hit some spots up there, and he hit me up, and he wanted to link up and bomb with me. And I said, yeah, why not, you know? Show me some spots up here, and let's wreck shit. And that's what we did, and...
Good vibes together, good vibes.
Yeah, he's a real young buck. Real young kid, man. You know, he's real young, and I just want to show him the ropes, the right way to bomb.
How you feel about the younger brothers? How you feel about the younger brothers that's coming up in the game right now?
I don't think I gotta say is just keep doing your thing, you know? Keep bombing.
I agree. Is there anyone out there that catches your attention?
Yeah, there's only one writer that keeps catching my attention. That's Flash. I give it to him.
Oh yeah.
I give that guy respect.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of work right now. A lot of work. Shout out to Flash. Another person who I've been seeing, I say this is a lot of times it's the same names I say, but no disrespect to no other person. But these are the people who I see. Another person who I'm seeing a lot is Bash. You know, a lot of Bash stuff too. Flash, Bills is another person who do a lot. A lot of 17 stuff been popping up recently too.
Yeah, 17.
How you feel about the older writers that's coming back now? Anybody? What's the vibes on that?
It's great to see the old school, you know, coming out and just doing some damage, you know.
Shout out to TD. TD definitely.
Yeah, that's another person. TD's out there destroying shit, man. I give it to him.
And I just want to say this because we have our audience, our Vandal Hour fans really listen to us. So I'm gonna say this. Shout out to TD. I did see that conversation about the 5 boroughs and a lot of people not going to Staten Island and claiming that they owe a city. I think if you want to have that conversation on over the phone, on air, I would love to have that conversation because it's a great conversation. There are a lot of people claiming Ore City and haven't touched Staten Island, which is one of the boroughs. So you cannot claim Ore City without touching Staten Island. When we was off air, we was going through a lot of history, a lot of old graph, man. Who's an old writer that you seen doing what they do that caught your attention back in the days? Who was doing what they was doing that you was like, oh shit, he gets busy?
I have to say, rest in peace, DG. Deck, Vic Crew, FYA. Show, SDS.
Move your phone off the thing real quick. No, it's that. Yeah, pardon me on a. That's, you know, sometimes it gives feedback. Who else? You said
DG, Deck, Vic, FYA Crew.
Facts.
Show.
Woo! Yeah. I definitely like the Deck.
Breeze. This
we was talking about Saint also with the trucks.
Yeah,
a lot of Saint work.
Yeah, like I said, Fib, Trap, Do. For Peace and Wise, I didn't see too much of it. Was Death, 3BR.
Yeah, so we was talking about Death. And Death is actually from the Williamsburg area. If y'all don't know who Death 3BR is, he was a person who was a nice pizza, doing a lot of ill shit with the piecing. I seen a lot of black books that he was doing. Shout out to my cousin Hops, who used to put me on to a lot of his stuff. But Def was ill.
Def was very ill, man. He, as a pizza, he had to be one of my favorites.
Oh, you said you got to have him and Alf work on something together. You had happened.
Yeah, I had a black book and I gave it to Alf because he was doing a T-shirt for me, and he wound up getting Death 3PR in it, and wound up giving the book to Asp, and the book got lost. Yeah, that book was unbelievable with what was in it, like what those two guys did to my black book was just unbelievable.
Do you have any of your old black books?
I still have, yeah. I have 2 old black books from high school.
Ooh, I know you cherish them.
Yeah, very, There's a lot of whack shit in it, It's the early days,
How outside of graph, how do your friends and family react to what you do?
My mom loves it, She tells me, "Oh, I see you here. I saw what you did there," At first she wasn't, because when I first started, I was writing on everything, the polls around the corner, she would see me up and she couldn't take it. I was messing around with school, and she gave me the boot to live with my pop out on Long Island, so.
I want you to finish this line. If it wasn't for graph, I'd be
nothing. I'd just be a regular kid in the street,
Graph, for a lot of people, is everything. It's their family, friends. Our lives revolve around, this living this lifestyle.
Graph is like a celebrity. You're a celebrity. You write graph, you're a celebrity.
When you was in your early years, did you ever have any groupies? Because a lot of graph writers have groupies.
Yeah, I had a few groupies, but they were just the shittiest thing was they were too young. too young, like.
I understand completely. I understand completely. You know, graph. You know, like you said, for some people is some individuals are rock stars.
Yeah.
You know, they walk into certain spots and there's writers there. Dudes will be like, yo, you see who that is and stuff like that. You know, I agree with you, man.
I was on the train one day and a kid had a black book, and I was with this famous handball player from Ridgewood, Bobby Bird. And I asked the kid, let me see your book. Can I sign it? He didn't ask what I wrote. I signed in it, closed the book, and handed it back. And Bobby was like, yo, why you didn't just let them know what you write? I was like, when they open up and see, their eyes are going to pop out. And he looked at me like he thought I was like bullshitting. And when he opened the book, the kid saw it, his eyes popped out, and he jumped off the train seat. Yo, that's 8-1s.
I know. It blows somebody's mind, man. I so appreciate you, man, for coming through and building with me, man, on this graph thing. I'm gonna say this before we, get ready to close out. I appreciate your contribution to graph. You put in a lot of work on a high level. One of the first people that made me really focus on rooftops. I'm not gonna lie to you. Rooftops. There was a time in my graph life that it wasn't really the big thing. The only time you seen rooftops is going towards Coney Island, and the whole roof's going towards Coney Island.
Yeah, that is true. Back over there towards Coney Island, the roofs were always hit.
So that's when I think of roofs, I think of that. But you was on a modern time with this, vandalism shit. You definitely had the rules on smash. I liked what you was doing. It was legible. You know what I mean? I could read what it is. I have a friend. Shout out to my man A1, but he's AO, and he was very upset when you was born. Yo, shout out to him. He's gonna hear this. I met the real A1s. But we talked about you, like, even before, he's not a graffiti writer. He was. But even when he started writing, I'm like, yo, that tag, that's somebody else's shit. Like, I seen what you was doing. He's like, nah, it's AO, it's not A1. But we call you A1s though. So I appreciate what you brought to this culture, man. I appreciate you for we hung out and chilled and spending some time just building on graph, which I love doing. Shout out to my man Amuse who brought you through. Shout out to Facts on Wax who's in the building. Shout out to ZW who's in the motherfucking building. You know what I mean? And it's always a great vibe. The Vandal Hour is about just hearing people's stories, vibing out with people, and just connecting these dots with these stories, with the real people who really did it, not from hearing from another person's mouth, but from the person themselves. Thank you.
You're welcome, man.
Any last words? Any shout outs you want to give to the peoples?
Oh man, honestly, there's pretty much a ZEXOR ass rip, VE rip, TG rip, Exist rip, TEF rip. Trying to think who else, but shout outs. I got to give CS, RY, and Amuse, and the rest. And that's it, man.
I appreciate you for being on the show. Let me give again, rest in peace to Foot for Mayor. You will never be forgotten. If you check out The Source on Instagram, if you check out Lisa Evers on Instagram, they both wrote something on Foot for Mayor. Rest in peace to also, because we had a lot of fallen soldiers in these recent times. I had it written down, but shout out to Nick 707. Shout out to rest in peace to Nick 707. Rest in peace to RE357, my man. Rest in peace to Cash 5. Rest in peace to ZEXOR. And rest in peace to all the fallen graph soldiers who's not here no more. I just was looking at some old shit of Is the Wiz. Yo, he was killing shit. Oh my God! I just went through like mad is the. I went like one day of is the Wiz, and he really put it in, man. If you don't know who is the Wiz is, you a fool, and you're not a writer. But shout out to is the Wiz, man. Shout out to him for being a blueprint for them throwies that was everywhere. You know what I mean? The multiple throwies in one spot, like 10 throwies in one spot, you got to give it to Is the Wiz. I don't care what nobody else says. That's the originator in my time that I seen do it. So shout out to him and shout out to Autograph Soldiers that's not here no more. I am Mathematics. You are listening to the Vandal Hour. Today is the 27th. Today's mathematics is Wisdom God, all being born to born. And that means that you must be a wise person living a righteous way of life, and you're going to bring a lot of positive things into existence. That's life. Shout out to all the gods and earths and all the positive people in the universe. Again, I'm Mathematics, and this is the Vandal Hour. That's Aones Wto, and this is what we do. Peace.